Well, I'd like to start out just thanking our fans. It was a great turnout, especially with the weather like it was yesterday and then even today. It really means a lot to our coaching staff and our players, for them to come out with like they did today. Our emphasis obviously was throwing the football. That's been one of our main points offensively this spring. It was good to see our guys throwing and catching the ball in front of a crowd and all that. Defensively we're a little banged up, towards the end, but overall, real happy with spring. I really like, where we ended, and think we got better.
Questions?
Happy with the way Nick threw the ball?
Yeah, I think so. I think he did a good job with his eyes and his progression, and didn't put the ball in jeopardy.
Talk about his role becoming more of a leader to this team.
Well, obviously when you're a quarterback, you're already in a leadership role, and he earned the respect of his teammates last year. But now he's got a chance to go through spring and even take that to the next level. And Nick's more of a leader by example. He doesn't say a lot, but when he does, they listen. And his teammates have a lot of respect for him.
Was there anything he did today that he couldn't have done in January or last
I think the big thing is just being more comfortable. You can see him in the pocket. He's just more under control. His balance is good. His eyes and his progression are good. So you can tell he's really improved.
What did you see from Duke Williams that you liked today?
Well, he's a playmaker. There's no doubt. He can get open. He's a big, long, rangy guy. That wants the football and makes a pretty good target for a quarterback.
What do you think of kind of him and Sammy kind of complement each other up there?
Yeah, and of course we've got Ricardo and Quanbray. We have some veteran guys that have experience that understand our offense, and so I feel like that group's improved. And then of course you add Duke to it, and some of those younger guys. We have some depth there.
Talk about the running game a little bit, even though you focus on the pass, still ran the ball well with Cap.
Yeah, of course, we feel very good about our running game. Probably the first couple of weeks we really focused on getting better up front, pad level, working to the second level. And, Cameron's had a very good spring as well as Corey. And then Peyton. I know Peyton got a little dinged up there early after a real good run. But all three of those guys, have had very solid springs.
Do you have any information on Peyton?
Yeah, he should be okay.
Do you feel like your players responded in front of a crowd differently like you expected them to?
The veteran guys, about what we expected, but some of the younger guys, the freshmen or some of the junior college guys coming in, you learn a little bit more about them. But it was good to see them out there flying around. And I thought for the most part our guys played hard and played with a lot of energy.
Coach, what's the message to the team after the game to keep this momentum rolling through the summer?
Yeah, I mean, we feel like we've improved. We've got a lot of work to do. They understand that, but I think they have a good idea about it, the foundation of our offense and our defense, and I think they've got the tools now to, have a summer, work, and try to get better and try to improve. The next time we get together, in fall camp.
Gus, how will it work with the new thing where coaches can spend some amount of time with players?
Yeah, you get 2 hours a week, so obviously that'll help with your instruction and film and all that. And so our coaches are really looking forward to having that ability to do that in the summer that we hadn't had in the past.
Coach, what is your assessment of Jeremy Johnson on the spring game?
Jeremy's had an excellent spring, throwing the football, just understanding the offense. Coach Lashley's given him probably about 25% of the reps with our first group. I mean, today was a little bit different because we put him on the other side, but we're very happy with where he's at in his progression. We feel like he could play for most teams in the country, so we're in really good shape quarterback-wise, going into next year.
What do you feel about the play of Daniel Carlson? He had 50-yard field goal, he had a mixed extra points, kind of like a mixed bag today.
Well, he's a freshman. He's young, but he's got a big leg, and he's had a very good, spring. We put him in pressure situations in practice. He's responded well, and him and our punter. I mean, those are two guys that you get a chance to get in front of a crowd, see how they react. But we really feel like both those guys are talented, and the more that they get in that situation, the better they're going to get. But he's got a big time leg.
You have Reese out today. Is that just precautionary? Or?
Yeah, it was just precautionary. We know pretty much what we're getting with Reese, and but he's had a very good spring, and I really feel like he's improved too.
What about the offensive line as a unit?
Yeah, I feel like that'll be one of our strengths. Obviously, it should be. We got 4 starters back, and we got 2 guys that know a lot about our offense, veteran guys. So that should be a strength of ours, at least going into, fall.
Gus,
The secondary talks about not giving up so many big plays. What did you see from them today?
Well, you look at our first defense, they didn't give up very many plays, period, much less deep balls. That's been an emphasis, trying to keep away from the big play. And I think our first group is improved greatly, this spring from last fall.
Coach, can you comment on the moment at halftime, just looking at those plays from last year and, seeing those over last year?
Yeah, that was a real neat deal. As a coach, I think about the last game a lot, but it's good from time to time when you're able to reflect back and, think about all the special things that happened during the year. And, you look around, you see your players, and they got smiles on their face and great memories. And so that was a real special moment to be able to hand those rings out, and have our crowd there too.
The defense
Can you
had
talk
been
about Carl Lawson and his work ethic?
Yeah, he's one of our leaders. He's one of our leaders. His motor runs all the time. He's very coachable. He had an excellent spring.
defense in particular. You mentioned the injuries, but for the last couple of weeks, you talked about quality depth. Do you take anything from the score being as lopsided as it was?
No, we tried to play, as ones against twos like we did last year. I think we're obviously, better at this time offensively and defensively with our ones. And we kind of mixed and matched. there were some guys that played with both groups, so I don't read anything into the score. I just think it's just a matter of, both sides, at least our ones, they're quite a bit better than they were last year at this time, which it should be. That should be expected.
Coach Lashley was talking about just the receivers needing to improve to the point of catching balls that maybe they didn't catch last year, even if they're a little off target. You saw that today. Are they progressing about the way you want when it comes back?
I think so. That was point of emphasis. We gave our guys a lot of chances in the spring to improve, and I feel like the guys that we get out there with the first group and they're attacking the ball, they're wanting the ball, they're expecting to make a play, and I think that's very important.
Yes, Jordan-Hare didn't play today. Is it anything serious with him?
He's a little banged up. He should be fine in the fall. Like I said, we got a couple guys we held out today that, but we don't think there'll be anything that'll affect any of our guys from the fall.
Anybody that won't be able to go for the start of preseason practice?
At this point, we expect everyone.
Nick,
a few more.
Nick struggled a little bit just to kind of get in the rhythm to start the game, and then about that mid-second quarter, once he hit Quan Gray for the big one, what did you see in that stretch?
Yeah, it was kind of hard. That very first one, I think we threw a fade to Ricardo. I can't tell how close it was, but down there on the field early on, the wind was swirling, and it was blowing pretty good. And so I know deep ball, a lot of times it affects, but, I think when they hit that one to Quan right there and he stepped up in the pocket, obviously, from that point forward, he threw the ball extremely well.
Take
Not
one more.
necessarily, but how do things change in the summer when the rest of the 2014 class gets on campus?
Yeah, we got some signees we feel like are very talented that could be in the mix, and they'll hit the ground running. We got a veteran group that have a very good understanding offensively and defensively, so hopefully they can help that young group come in.